Well, well, well. Welcome to the Architects of Fate streaming extravaganza. That's right. You've found the self-proclaimed original Twitch TTRPG stream that lets you shake up our world. Now pay attention because this is how it works. If you'd like to add some loops to this roller coaster ride of a show, you're gonna need fate chips. Now these magical loyalty points can be earned just by watching, following, hosting, subscribing, or just engaging with us in the chat. It's like free money, Pete. With your fate chips, you can use your powers as an architect to heal your favorite players, summon items that will make their adventure a lot easier, or a lot harder. You can even make players say or sing outrageously silly things. Think of those possibilities. But wait. There is more. You can also toss our unsuspecting heroes into random encounters that will leave them sweating, strategizing, and questioning their life choices. All it takes is a quick redeem command in the chat. You choose the item or action and the player you want to mess with, and we'll take it from there. So sit back, relax, and prepare yourselves for a mind-blowing spectacle of storytelling and mayhem. We've got adventure, we've got drama, and more surprises than a clown car at a kid's birthday party. So let's go!
Hello and welcome to all you Architects of Fate. Glad to have you back for another exciting episode of Conan, Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of by Modiphius Entertainment. I'm so excited to be here again with you guys today, and we even got 2 whole weeks in a row without skipping a week, which is amazing. Although, as a heads up, we will not be here next week, and we will be returning the week after that. So before we get started, I would just like to say I've got a great cast of characters here with you tonight that I want to introduce before we get going. And first off, I always got to say thanks to our moderator, a man behind the scenes, Nat. He keeps us running. After that, I've got some really good players. I've got a couple players that are out tonight, so we might have a slightly abridged... no, we've got audio. We might have a slightly abridged session. We'll see how it goes. So, without further ado, on to my players. First one we've got here is Verai, our assassin and scary, stabbity-doomy, sneaky lady. Then after that, we have Abertak, the witch hunter, who's currently being hunted by a ghost. Or maybe haunted by a ghost? The witchy, ghosty, haunty thing? Yeah, that sounds right. Next, we have Zhang, the emissary of far-off Katai, formerly the 12-foot-tall naked man that got sold by his party, and now back to a normal size, with normal-sized claws. The party finds itself still snowed in to the Nimrodel, the hunting lodge. While there, something most foul and supernatural has happened. A ghost was spotted in the nursery where there's a bunch of children and the nursemaid. And the ghost came and scared everybody. And one of the children was missing. And now apparently one of the slaves is missing as well. And while investigating through that, the party has found a secret tunnel leading to what appears to be a very not nice room with a table and blood and various instruments of torture and destruction.
Come on, you can just say a sacrificial altar. It's fine. We know what it is.
It does appear to be some sort of sacrificial altar. That is a true statement. The party took a secret tunnel, opened up a secret door, went in there, made a bunch of noise, heard footsteps coming, and hightailed it back into the secret passage and closed the door behind them. Now, what is the order of everybody here? I know Abertak is the one closest to the door.
And I'm the one farthest from the door.
You're the one farthest from the door, so you're closest to the entrance of the secret tunnel.
Yes.
Okay.
How far far back is that? Just a reminder.
I mean, you're tucked in pretty close to each other, so I mean, you're the
Well, I mean, how long is the tunnel?
a couple 100 feet.
Okay.
So does that make me sandwiched in the middle?
You're stuck in the middle, babe.
Plenty of room.
Make certain I type something there. All right. So, I guess in that case, without further ado, we shall begin. The door closes just in time as those heavy booted footsteps, boot and foot, spelled the same almost, but definitely pronounced differently. As those heavy-footed boot steps kick open the door, and a pile of individuals come pouring into that room. These individuals are not like anybody you have seen in this Nimrodel so far. They appear to be mercenaries of some sort. They also appear to be still heavily frosted. Their beards are frosted. Their helmets are frozen. They're still muddy and dirty, looking like they have only just made it in out of the snow.
Mhm.
They come charging into the room, looking around, not spotting anything at first, but actually, that's a good thing for you guys. But there is one of the grounds slaves, the outside slaves, is with these group of soldiers that come bursting in here, and he sees the chaos that has ensued down here, all the things that have been knocked over, the table that's knocked off, the tools and implements of destruction, torture, and sacrifice scattered all over the floors, thanks to our erstwhile ranger's actions. And the slave screams in terror and says, "It's the ghost! It's the ghost!" The soldiers are all, or the mercs are all like, "What the hell is going on? The ghost is here! He's come for us! He's already killed others! He's coming here to kill us!" And the outside slave sprints back out the door, like screaming in terror. The various frozen mercs look around at each other like, "What the hell is going on?" Okay, Ghost, we just got here. We don't want any trouble. We've got nothing to do with whatever's happening. We're backing out. You do whatever you want to do. We got no part of this. And they all slowly like back out of the room looking scared and nervous.
Can we tell where that room is? Like where, so that it could have an outside slave and people who had just come in out of the cold?
It's definitely one of the outbuildings, but which one? It's you guys didn't really get enough of a good look at the grounds to really know.
Huh.
But it's definitely one of the outbuildings.
So wherever it is, because this we found the non-secret side of the secret passage first.
It's
So whatever that is.
honestly, it was secret from both sides.
Fair, but like that room, we got to figure out what building that is.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
So I'm assuming you're going to go threaten somebody.
No,
No.
no.
Yeah, so I guess we filed back through the passage.
So you're turning around and starting to head back to the house?
Yeah.
By back to the house, you mean back into the main underground passage?
Yes, back. Yeah, well, I mean, there's not really like an alcove or an opening. It's just a very narrow mud stone, like unworked passage between the two. A tunnel.
Can the slave who was with us, was it Joe? Can he tell us what building that is?
He
Also-
is not sure.
Does he know? Did he go in there with us, or did he wait in the?
He did follow you in at your behest.
Does he have any idea what outbuilding could have that weird surgical table looking thing?
He is right now a very scared and confused individual. He does not know. But there is a bluish light from the other end of the tunnel.
Wait, which other end?
The house end of the tunnel.
Okay.
So did the tunnel go down and then up, or is it a straight tunnel?
It's not perfectly straight, but it's definitely so behind the kitchen area, right? You went into the servants' quarters, and there was a staircase down in the servants' quarters to an actual tunnel passage that led to the slaves' quarter building and to the cellars. So that was already an underground passage that led to the slave quarters building and the cellars. In the middle of that, you found the panel that snuck into this one. So it started out underground already.
Okay.
The blue light gets a little brighter.
I mean, it could be anything, right? It could be somebody with like an LED flashlight or something.
Yeah, totes.
LEDs, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What would cause blue light in this age? That seems a little haunting.
Yes. What's the purpose?
Almost at that exact moment that you say and think that. You know the scene at the beginning of Ghostbusters where the librarian is like all scary like? Imagine that, except it's a dude instead of a lady librarian. It's a full-grown adult male coming at you guys, screaming a haunting, unholy scream, flying straight towards you, floating straight towards you, apparitioning straight towards you, and screaming down this passage towards you. I'm going to need discipline checks from everybody.
Okay. I believe I give everyone a bonus to that.
Yep, difficulty 2.
Oh, got logged out.
Well, I had a complication. I may be able to reroll one of those. Let me look here.
Mike, do you give just an automatic +1 success or an extra dice?
Set my abilities. Discipline.
Oh, they gain morale soak. 2 morale soak.
Yes.
Okay, so they don't get actually any extra dice.
And I can reroll that 20. I'm waiting for it to roll. It was not a success, but it's not a complication anymore.
Okay. No successes from Veri.
Love, could you roll on my behalf because roll 20 logged me out.
You got a complication.
I can re-roll that.
I hope
Can you?
so.
I know I can.
Reroll 1 die 20 on a discipline test, +1 courage soak for each point of discipline focus. So yes, you can re-roll that 20.
Yep.
All right. And your discipline is 13, so that's 2 successes.
2 successes.
So you're the only one that actually succeeds. You're also the closest one to it. Veri, Abertac. There is a screaming apparition of horror and terror. You are in a tight, close tunnel with nowhere to go as this thing is coming screaming at you. Zhang, you've seen worse. You're from Kitai. You've met necromancers. It's still, I mean, it's scary, but it's not like, it's just a ghost. It can't hurt me, right?
There's not even any room to swing my hammer at it.
And you guys see this screaming ghost not even slow down as it comes upon you and slams itself into the person in the back, Zhang, before dissipating in a hazy blue puff.
I immediately suspect he's possessed.
The house slave that is with you begins screaming.
Did it make a noise when it hit him? Like, did you feel something when it hit you?
Did I feel something?
Cold, wind, some sort of force of phantasmal presence-y thing, but it was definitely not a physical hit. Other than the most physical thing that you felt is it, like if somebody was running down a hall, or if there was like a fan blade, the wind that would be pulled by it by somebody moving down a hallway quickly. So there's kind of a whoosh of air with it, but nothing else really.
Huh.
One thing to note, though, your house slave friend is screaming, and you will be detected very soon if he doesn't stop.
So wait, I'm confused. I thought we were in an underground tunnel that was well known, and we found a hidden one.
We found
No,
a hidden one off the side of a well-known one.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
you found a hidden panel that was about this big
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you all crawled through to get into this tunnel.
That we were already in a tunnel when we found that.
Yes.
Okay, so which of those two tunnels are we in now?
You're still in the secret tunnel. You've
Okay,
still
let's go
got
to
this.
the-
You've still got the secret door with the peephole right behind you.
Okay, so let's get out of here. Wait. It hit Zhang and then disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Supernatural check.
I'm gonna look in the peephole again.
Can we quiet the slave that's screaming?
It would take a
You want
command
to
or a
take him out to
council.
the
It would take a what?
take him out to,
It would take a
just
command
take him
or
out
a
to the regular
council.
tunnel.
Commander Council. Who's got Commander Council?
The one person that
That
didn't
would be
piss his
me.
pants.
Okay.
I'm having issues with. I should be able to get on here shortly, but I will pull him aside and tell him to silence himself.
Or just take him
You think-
into the regular tunnel.
That does not.
First, you got to get him to shut up.
Doesn't matter if he's screaming for you if he's in the regular tunnel.
He'll still paying attention to us.
Except
Suck it
he
up.
will tell everybody about the secret tunnel where you guys are. He will reveal
I mean-
your presence.
I don't know if that's a problem.
It may
but
or may
we-
not
we
be.
have-
It's up to you.
Permission to be investigating. Ish.
It depends, I guess, on how you think the owners of the building will react to having his secret tunnel revealed, I guess.
Well, they didn't say anything. This isn't his bedroom, so we should be fine.
You go through it's slash roll. Michael's trying to roll. He's been having password issues.
Okay, 3 successes on my command to get him to silence himself.
You give him a quick smack on the face to shock him back into place, and basically tell him to shut the f up politely.
Do you want them to come to us? Silence, man.
And he is able to, at the very least, regain control of his vocal cords. He is still like shivering and cowering.
I can't say I blame him.
And he starts like mumbling prayers to. Did I actually say who he was going to? He starts mumbling prayers to Darketo.
I mean, I'm probably right there with him, but can we please get out of this tunnel?
Yes.
You're the one in the front.
You was dealing with a major issue first.
Then you don't.
You
Let's
lead
go.
the party back out of the tunnel. Okay, you make it to the other end. You open up the secret panel. You all exit the secret panel. You replace said secret panel. And Zane, give me highs or lows. If you are correct, nobody is in the tunnel. If you are incorrect, somebody is in the tunnel.
Hi.
What did I say?
Somebody is in
See.
the tunnel if he's incorrect, and he said hi.
Okay, somebody is in the tunnel. That's right. Okay. As you are stepping out of the tunnel, as you are stepping out of a tunnel, a pair of house slaves see you. It is, let's see. I haven't really named any of them except for Vecca and this one, have I?
Do the random name generator.
Yeah, two of the house slaves are in here, see you coming out of that tunnel, and they are just like staring open-mouthed and confused.
You two, come here.
They've moved towards you.
As per the master of this house, we have been ordered to assist in the investigation. Were you aware of this tunnel entrance before you saw us coming out of it?
No, sir.
Are you well acquainted with the layout of this building and the premises?
The interior, sir.
Only the interior?
Yes, sir.
Would you be able to tell us the edge of the house closest to, and I point in that direction, the direction of the tunnel, saying if it were going forward. Basically, I'm trying to get where on the edge of the house that tunnel could exist next to.
It goes to the side of the house, sir.
Which side of the house specifically? Like, show me a room. Or take me to the room, and I have them direct me to, like, not direct me, escort me and my party to the location.
Okay, sir. And he starts taking you back to the main part of the house. As as they start doing it, the two slaves start whispering among themselves quietly, whispering among themselves.
I'm gonna ask them, are they aware of any mercenaries arriving within the last hour?
Yeah, a group just made it in from the cold. Some of Dagon's escorts. Digo's escorts, sorry. It's a group of Digo's escorts.
Do you know who that is?
Digo was the one saying he could escort you to the Dragon Arena.
I don't remember if there were anyone for us, right?
But they're leading you to the.
But I will keep that information in my back pocket, so to speak, and continue to be led towards the location that I asked for.
Okay. He takes you into the building, down the main hallway into where the guests' lodging areas of the house are. He says, "This side."
Okay. Are there any windows or anything that I can look out of?
Yeah, there's a window at the end of the hallway. You see a couple of buildings, a couple of small buildings, and then one larger building right on the edge by the hedge.
Okay.
Why don't you ask them what they are?
Are you aware of what any of those buildings are used for?
I guess for storage, they're. I don't know. I don't work the grounds.
As far as the slaves that do work the grounds on the outside, do you know where they are generally posted? If any are,
No, we're not
assigned
kept
to
with
this?
each other.
Okay.
Well, let's just go look at them.
I thank them for their assistance and ask they not let any of the other guests know about our current investigation, just in case.
And they run away.
Looks like we're going out into the cold.
Dark.
It's not dark out, is it?
No, because it was morning when this all started, and it's been a few hours. So it's getting on to lunchish.
Hmm. Well, how do you want to do this, Vera? Do you want to go prowl, or should we just go snoop all together? Or
Do you want me to go ahead?
well, we have a number of buildings, and we just need to first of all know kind of what they are. Like which one of them would have had that weird, strange altar-looking thing,
Mm.
if indeed that's what it was.
um, I can. Are we all traveling as a unit, or are we splitting up to check different areas?
That's my question. These buildings out here.
Yeah,
You want to do a walk around first?
I can. I can be more stealthy about it.
I would also like to note that it is still heavily snowing. There is well over a foot of snow on the ground at this point.
Hmm.
Visibility is very limited.
I'm gonna die. Yeah.
I probably shouldn't have even let you see half of those buildings, but I gave it to you.
You know, on the alternatively, we could take that secret passage back into that building, and you could sneak around the interior.
I think that's the easier way to go. It's easier for me to hide in the dark and recesses than it is for me to hide and live in a foot of snow and zero visibility. By the time I find somebody, they're gonna find me.
And I can wait just inside the passage, just in case, while Michael creates a distraction.
A distraction, you say?
Yes,
Like being 12 feet tall?
a carnifex.
One of the house slaves starts, you notice, knocking on doors in this lodging area where people are resting and saying that lunch is being served in the lounge. If they would like to retire to the lounge for meals, or they can have meals brought to their rooms, and they appreciate the inconvenience and the patience of the guests. Comes up and tells you guys the same thing. Lunch is being served in the lounge if you guys would be so inclined.
Yes, thank you. I will head towards the lounge. Although I believe my compatriots wish to take their food in our lodgings.
Delicious. Sounds reclusive. I'm in.
Sounds reclusive, I'm in.
Kinky.
Okay, so grab food. Go to.
Yes, Vera, let us exit. Uh, not suspiciously, casually.
I'm going to go eat this in my room.
The house slave says he can escort you to your room.
Okay. Lead the way, house slave.
takes you to
Is
your
this,
you know
still,
it's down the next
is this still
hallway and over a
Joe?
little bit. What?
Is this still Joe?
No, this is a different one.
Oh.
Well, we've got to break another one in.
Once he gets you to your room, he says that he will return with food shortly.
Oh shit. You may be on your own here.
Verai, you're in your room. Abertek?
I
With
assume,
Verai?
do we all have separate rooms?
You guys had three rooms among you. Among all of you,
Oh.
there were 3 rooms.
I'll be in the room with Vera.
Okay. And Zhang, you're going to the lounge?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll go with Zhang first, because his action will happen, assuming you guys are waiting until your food shows up so that they don't get suspicious. Zhang, you make it to the lounge. You see all of the familiar faces that you've seen before, including a very tear-stained, flustered, and scared Palais couple. The rich couple. Digo is here. The Stygian is here. There's 3 servants in here. 1 house servant, 2 slaves. Let's see. Adajan is in here eating. Tess is actually in here eating with the guests. The fat woman that was in the nursery earlier and kind of took charge of things. And there are also 2 others. There's not just one of those big, fat, nearly naked dudes with the scary blades. There's 2 of them in here now. And there are also 2 new strangers that you haven't seen before that are standing right by the fire looking like they're trying to warm up. Noble kids, early 20s, have punch me faces.
Punch me faces. I see.
You know the kind.
Well, I shall, whilst waiting, go to the Palais couple and first apologize for how they found out about their son. I wish it were under better circumstances, or not that there could be any better circumstances, but
The wife starts wailing again.
She had just managed to forget. You reminded her.
and the husband.
He kind of nods at you, and then he's trying to calm his wife down, but you can tell he's barely keeping it together himself.
And so are the mercenaries that have recently arrived, do I recognize any, or do I notice any faces that I don't recognize?
None of those mercenaries are in here.
Okay.
There's the crowd that you met yesterday, including the Butcher Taxidoc, and then 2 new faces, as well as more house slaves, servants, and guards.
You said 2 new faces?
2 new faces, rich kids, punch me faces, standing by the fire trying
Sorry,
to defrost.
you're really breaking up. I can't hear what you just said.
2 new faces, rich kids, punch me faces, standing by the fire trying to defrost.
Right. Okay. And how old did you say they looked?
Early
Age?
20s, rich
Early-
kids, spoiled.
Right. I'll make my way over to them and ask them if they've heard of what's going on with the commotion.
Yeah, so Digo's over there with them as well by the fire. And they're gossiping like, what an absolutely horrible trip here. When I return home, I'll be letting my father know about all of this. Got stuck in the snow, having to deal with common mercenaries. The arena itself was half of what they promised it was. All the mercenaries there have apparently left. I know, right? This has been such a horrible trip, and now we get here and there's murders. I'm never coming back to this hunting lodge again. Hell, while we were at the arena, that old corpse of a man showed up and took my gladiator I was bidding on.
So, two questions. First, did the mercenary, does anyone know why the mercenaries left and or where they went?
First one says, I don't know. I heard something that there was a big bounty to go after, and the second one's like, yeah, the Aquilonian Civil War that's happening. They're all going to look for easy money. And the first one's like, yeah, I guess that could be the case too. That makes sense.
Certainly money to be had in a war. Also, what's this about a corpse band?
The guy that owns the arena, he never shows up, except he did show up apparently. I don't know. I was told he's never there. Then he did show up, and I was bidding on this gladiator. The gladiator had already won 2 bouts against beasts and was making me good money. And then I'm bidding on the gladiator, and the corpse guy shows up, and he just points at him, and then my gladiator gets taken away, and they didn't even give me my money back.
It's just how these things work. They never let you get your money back.
It's theft, and I'll be telling my father.
And who is your father?
Lord such and such.
Lord such and such.
Not heir
name.
to that such and such throne.
Never heard of him.
The Suches and the Eastworthy Suches and the Liverworth Suches.
Yeah, I've never heard of him. But what small province is he in charge of?
He's a lord in Ophyr, I'll have you know. Maybe you Eastern heathens don't understand nobility.
Heathens.
You are technically human.
Barbarians.
Technically right. Yes, kind of right.
Would they happen to be friends with Tiber Dairn or
Tiber and Conan are eating in their rooms right now, not in the lounge. They're staying low.
Asking, I guess.
I'm basically going to throw out the names of the lords of Ophir that I know and have schmoozed with, so to speak.
Describe this to me more. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt of your character performing it in the way that you want it to, but I'm going to need you to describe it to me more how you're doing this.
So basically, I'm sort of talking down at them, saying that I hadn't seen any or heard of any lords such and such at the many various events I was hosted by for the lords of Ophir that I had met.
Okay, so you're just kind of more putting them in their place than anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Possibly causing, trying to stir them up, so to speak.
Okay, I'm good with that.
You might also mention the high priest, that we had an audience with him. Or one of the high priests, I should say.
Didn't we have an audience with both?
You've technically met 2 high priests.
But we only had
You had an audience with one, you had a banquet with the other.
Right. But yes, I will ask these questions in a somewhat demeaning manner.
They do start to get a little bit defensive, but also their tone changes with you to be more like, oh, this might actually be a person worth knowing. You can see them literally like fighting with their nature because they still want to insult you, but now that they're unsure of your actual social standing, that you might have a good social standing, they're starting to hedge their words now.
Not the distraction I was hoping for. But it can't hurt to make friends.
It can.
I mean, hey, if they're gonna pay for my dinner, then I'm not gonna be gone. But that's not a here thing or a now thing.
So Digo is also around and is like, "Oh, so my friend, sorry, my friend Zane, good to have you again with us at lunch. So have you reconsidered my offer? My escort team has just returned. Once the snow comes out, they can take you to Dragon's Arena and you can make bets, you can make money, have excitement."
Where is your escort team? I know that they're in here.
Oh no, they're not allowed in the house with the guests. No.
Oh, does the manor have quarters for the mercenaries, so to speak?
Yeah.
The honor guard.
They stay in outbuilding, yes.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
They are rude and rowdy people, but good for escort.
At least there's that. No, it seems we need to stay a little longer and assist our host. So,
Yes, it's
might
it is
take up.
terrible. It is terrible shame what happened to child.
I look to the wailing mother. A terrible shame indeed.
It'd be funny if she was actually wailing.
I mean, she is wailing.
No, I mean like catching whales.
She pulls out a harpoon.
Yeah. See?
And she's wailing while wailing.
You with your own.
Anything else you're doing while here in said lounge?
Well, I was hoping to make some sort of a distraction, but I guess the wailing of what? Yeah, sorry. I was hoping to make some sort of a distraction, but the wailing of the mother might be all I can garner at the moment.
Okay, like in order to try to attract the house staff or something?
Yes.
Because the house does have a pretty big staff, and well, not a pretty big staff. For the size of it, it's a little slim, but there are a lot of staff members still searching the house.
Yeah. I wonder if this is within my abilities. Probably not. Okay, never mind.
All right. Verai and Abertak. After a good 5-8 minutes, a couple plates of food are brought to you. It's tasty. Food, drinks.
I mean, I'm gonna finish mine, but it looks like I'm staying here. Since I don't have any sneaky abilities.
Okay.
But I'll do it.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, oh, that's right. I'm supposed to have a slave with me, aren't I?
Joe is with you, yes.
Okay, good. Joe, let's go.
I thought we were staying and eating. Well, you noticed that he was not given a plate of food. Just the two of you were.
Okay, so here is what is it? Just various.
Yeah, probably like some sort of pigeon or dove or pheasant or some sort of bird and some rice.
Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna reach in and grab some of the light meat from the main body of it, and just nibble on that, and I'll be like, okay, you can have the rest of that, Joe. I mean, you look like you're hungry.
I apologize. I'm not allowed to eat from the guests. Eat the guests' meals.
That's fine. It's not my meal anymore.
He looks at you and then he looks at Abertac. Are you tricking me? Are you tricking me here?
No. Eat. You're okay?
He hesitantly takes the plate and
What are you doing?
he drops the plate, scared. Rice and pheasant fall all over the floor. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm such a stupid. I'm sorry. I'll clean this up. And he starts trying to clean it all up and using his hands and try to put it back on the plate. And
So, Joe, I'm
so
sorry. I was just messing with you. Relax. It's okay. We're all informal here for the most
You are a terrible person. You know that, right?
part. I'm an anarchist. Sorry, Joe. Here's some light meat if you want this instead. I won't trick you this time. Have some light meat. I was just picking on you.
He's not touching it other than to put it onto the plate and try to clean it off the floor.
Okay. Fine.
I'm terrible.
Oh, sorry, Joe. Come on.
Capital P.
I'm horrible. Just trying to have a little fun with you. Come on, buddy.
Okay, where are we going?
Into the dark room that could be haunted with ghosts and demons.
No, not again. Please don't. No.
Okay, Joe, you've got two options here. You can sit here and stock the fire in this room, and I will be back, or you can come with me. I have free reign as long as it's not the master's quarters, but I'm supposed to be accompanied. I don't want you to get in trouble, but I'll do what I can to not get you hurt as well if you do come with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, ma'am, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let's go. We'll try to find you a bite to eat on the way. Now I feel bad.
He's taking the plate of floor-bound scraps with you as you head towards the kitchens and the servants' quarters. He drops the plate off in the kitchen with the cleaning and the dishes area in the kitchen.
So while we're in the kitchen, can I look around and ask apologies, I dropped a piece of bread or a mini loaf of bread from my lunch. I dropped it on the floor. It was entirely my fault. Would I be able to get another?
Oh, why, yes, good mistress. Here you go. And you reach out and they get you some bread.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's go.
You go through the servants' quarters and then down the stairs into the in-between tunnel, and it is not empty. The head butler, as well as 3 of these puffed up guardsmen with the mean knives, and a couple of house servants, and Trin are all down in this hallway.
Fun. Well,
they see you show up.
Yep.
And the master butler says,
There he is.
There he is.
There he is. Just the woman of the hour. Won't you please come join us?
Sure. I'll walk over with my accompanying slave who is supposed to be with me anyway.
Yep. Master Butler says, well, good to see one has at least followed their directions. So you kicked open a door and found a hidden tunnel here, huh? Pray tell, may I ask what you were doing there?
The same thing that you and everybody else are doing is looking for the missing child. My instructions were to.
I know what your instructions were. I gave them to you. Did you find anything?
We found a room at the other end of this tunnel. Other than that, there was a lot of commotion going on over there. Other than that, I don't really nothing else really to report. I didn't see a child, but we did not explore further beyond that room. I was actually coming to find you and see if I could get more information about this room, this tunnel, and what's on the other side there. Because A, we wanted to make sure that we were not disobeying your orders and going into the master's chambers, and B, we wanted to see if that location had been explored as well. Because again, we're trying to help.
Trin says, let's see how would Trin put it? Well, I don't see any reason why they need to be going through this tunnel out in the outer grounds. The exterior grounds is mine to take care of. They can stay on the inside. There's nothing out there.
Define out there. What building is on the other side of this tunnel?
The camp house.
And what per se happens at the camp house?
Those folks that aren't allowed inside the building get to camp out.
What kind of people go into the camp house that don't come here? If you have an entire separate quarter for your slaves, who else would be here that you wouldn't let into the main house?
Mercenaries, guards, escorts, ruffians, rabble-rousers, and generally those that we just don't like in pleasant company.
Would you happen to know, is this an official tunnel? Is this part of the house? Was this supposed to be here?
No, this was not on any of the maps, and it would probably do, and at this point the Master Butler says, yes, yep, sir, we'll see to it, sealed up on both ends. Can't have something like this around.
Okay. So, just a curiosity, are you aware of any secret tunnels to any of the other houses?
Didn't know there were any secret tunnels out here to begin with.
Okay. So just so I'm tracking, because it comes up. Sometimes we find things. If we were to find another one, should we assume that we need to tell you immediately before exploring?
Send Cho to let us know.
Okay. I can work with that, right? Just trying to, be, the guest of my word, right? We can make that work. Okay. In the meantime, so you're going to seal this up. You've already checked the room in the building on the other side. Joe, may we go up to the slaves' quarters so that I can explore where Max slept?
The Master Butler just kind of waves you on. You continue down the tunnel with Cho. The tunnel goes a little ways further. There's a kind of a stairwell up to a little landing area, and then a ladder to climb, a short ladder to climb, where you will come up out into a rather cramped room. Maybe 30 feet by 30 feet, maybe a little bit bigger than that. And in here there are various stools, pots, beddings, and blankets. There is a door. The door doesn't seem to have been opened in a while, but there is a door. There are windows. The windows are boarded up. It is cold out here, but there is a like a bowl and a fire rock pit in the middle, providing some radiant heat in here. So it's not dangerously cold, but it's definitely not what you would consider a comfortable warmth.
Okay.
And Joe takes you over. Here's Mech's spot.
Are we the only ones in here? You said.
No, there's a couple other slaves in here resting.
Okay. Okay. So nobody's looking at us though, right?
Nobody is studying you, but it's not a big room.
Okay. Just checking. Okay, so
the other two slaves are pointedly like intentionally not paying too close attention to you because they know better than to like accidentally make eye contact with the masters and they can be told to do. But if they don't make eye contact, maybe they won't be told what to do.
okay. So I'm gonna bring Joe in close and be like, okay. So Joe, I need you to tell me what's the sleeping area for Max, and does he have his own dedicated one?
He takes you to where Max's spot is.
Okay, so I'm gonna need.
There's a blanket, a small linen pouch, a candle, a bucket.
Okay, so I'm gonna need to explore this space to see if there are any clues, including the linen pouch underneath the bedroll. Scratch marks on the wall.
Do an observation check.
I shall indeed.
Okay.
That's 4 successes.
So with 4 successes, looking into Mex's packs. As you are looking through his bedding and his packs, he's got a couple of there's a couple of, and by couple of I literally mean one what appears to be a change of clothes. There is a couple of scraps of cloth. There's a not very soft bed, but it looks better than some of the other beds in the area. Actually, the one thing that you really notice here is that his spot looks a little bit. Nothing in the slaves' quarters is quality, but if there were, his was probably of the higher quality stuff. But there is nothing other in particular of note of his stuff. There's no scribblings, there's no scratches, there's no journals or books, there's no religious signs that you can find.
Okay, there goes that theory. Joe. So you were saying, Joe, that people pray, maybe not specifically to Solopetha, but they pray for salvation. They
To
pray
the many gods.
the many gods. Is there a place where they do this?
We're not.
Sorry,
exactly
I know I'm
allowed
not there.
to
I
say
didn't hear what you said there. They pray to the what?
the many, as in various gods.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
We're not exactly allowed places. You get wherever you
Bad
can
and
get.
cause.
So wherever it is that you can pray. So okay, so essentially, in bed at night, and in such close quarters, you may overhear each other. Joe, where do you sleep?
He takes you over on the far wall underneath one of the windows, pretty far away from the fire pit in the middle.
That looks cold.
It's not necessary. I am gracious to have a warm roof and shelter and food.
Okay. So the others are intentionally trying to ignore us. I'm back above ground, so there's no exits out here other than the door and then the passageway that we came from.
Yep.
Can't get into that tunnel because there are people down there. So okay, we'll just have to head our way back. There's
A stool tips over. There was a candle on the stool. The candle lands on one of the beddings.
oh. The candle was lit, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I'd rush over to put it out before it catches a gigantic fire.
Okay. One of the bedding areas looks to be again a little bit nicer bedding area. A couple instead of just one changes of clothes here, there's 3 changes of clothes in this little linen pouch. Women's sized.
Women's sized. Joe, whose bedding area is this?
Vecca stays there.
Vecca. Have I met Vecca?
She's the nursemaid. She
Okay.
takes care of the children.
Yeah. She's the one that saw the apparition. So, can I explore her area here since she's got...
Yep. Roll another observation check, and I'll actually, because you got 4 successes before, I'll give you a free point of momentum.
I can buy an extra roll with that?
Yeah, you can get extra D20 with that. That's 3 successes. 4 successes
4
again.
successes.
There isn't much to note there, other than you find a scrap of cloth, a belt on the inside of her belt. There is scratched out a crescent moon.
So she's a solopethophile.
I mean, how droll.
True. Okay then. So I'm not gonna signal this to Joe, but still gonna clearly he doesn't want to talk about Solopetha or all of that stuff, right? But yeah. So I make note of that. I'll definitely want to talk to.
Joe seems to just want to keep his head down and not get in trouble.
What was her name again?
Vecca.
V-E-K.
V-E-K-K-A. Vecca.
Vecca is a subject of interest. Okay.
She was the one that saw the apparition in the first place.
She was the one screaming. We slapped her. We got her into. Yeah. I understand who it is. I was just making sure I got her name right. Okay, Joe. Is there anybody else that has a nicer sleeping arrangement?
They're of various quality. Mex seems to be the best. He also, as you've heard, was the Master Butler's favorite.
Yep.
Vecca also seems like one that was given a lot of extra freedom and responsibility. So there is a third one. He says that the sous chef has a slightly better spot. He's not the actual chef, but he is the chef's main assistant. He has a slightly better spot.
Okay. What about among the slaves? Are there any that you look up to as kind of a more, influential leader, spiritual figure? Anybody amongst your social standing here?
Not really.
Okay. Nobody you all turn to?
Sometimes, but people also slaves kind of come and go, so.
Okay. Well, just out of just out of curiosity, I will tour the sous chef's bedding area as well,
Okay.
since he's the third with nicer accommodations and whatnot.
One more observation check, and I'll even allow an extra point of momentum die 20 again.
Oh, wait, I can reroll. I can reroll the one. Oh.
So from 4 successes to 4 successes to no successes and a complication.
Hang on a second. Let me. Sharp senses may reroll 1d20. Yes, I wanted to verify that before I hit the enter. Well, no successes, but it's not a complication. So.
As far as you can tell, everything just looks. There's 2 changes of clothes, and some scraps of paper. You find a little piece of cheese that maybe he stole.
That theft. That thief. Okay. Well then, Joe, nothing else to see here. Let's head on out.
All right, where do you go?
I need to head back to Abertac.
Okay, you head back to your quarters. After being Zhang, after the meal and stuff, do you stay in the lounge or do you head to the rooms?
I guess I'd head back to the rooms.
Okay. Abertac, after about 30 or 40 minutes after Verai and Zhang have left, they both come back at almost the exact same time, ironically enough.
Convenient.
Suspicious.
All right. So before anything else, we're all in the room together, right?
Yes, the 3 of you and Cho.
Okay, Joe. Here's the bread I got from the kitchen. Either you eat this, or I will shove it in your mouth. Better not be bread gluten intolerant.
He looks nervous as he's taking the bread from you this time.
I will not trick you. Eat the bread. I feel bad about the chicken or the dove or whatever bird it was.
Walks a little way and starts slowly, like, when he realizes you actually are letting him eat, he starts to eat the bread.
I won't make the joke again. All right. So while he's nibbling on his bread, I'm going to fill in Abertac and Zhang. And trying without him hearing, let him know that we do need to talk to Vecca, the handmaiden. She had a symbol of a crescent moon carved into the inside of her belt, in her slaves' quarters. And I'll fill them in. Like, I wasn't able to get back into the secret passage. The lead butler slave guy was there, and some burly guards, and they, I identify what building was out there. The camp building, right? And explain like who else kind of lives out there, and that there's not supposed to be a passageway there that the head butler slave guy knew about, and there shouldn't be any others as well. So if we come across any others, we are to have Joe notify him. Luckily, there was enough ambiguity there that we didn't identify when we had to tell Joe to let him know, or we didn't have to, bring Joe with us while we went in. We could just send him to the guy and go in. Hey, instructions are instructions.
Did he seem concerned?
Huh?
Did he seem concerned at all about the? Did he seem concerned at all about the strange surgical table thing?
He seemed more concerned that we found it, and that he didn't know about it. Well, allegedly didn't know about it. He was more concerned that we found it, I think. But they promised they'd seal it up.
I mean, I doubt they did know about it, because that seems to be the kind of thing that's used for the outside getting in.
It's also an escape path for the slaves. So, yeah.
Well, they're not really escaping, but they could be using it to meet together when they're not supposed to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's something that, it could be something that, the owners didn't know about.
I mean, this could all be Solopethan revenge. I'm not sure I would blame them.
Is Solopetha powerful enough to be spawning entities?
Well, don't you remember that weird bottle of darkness they gave us that I decided we had to destroy instead of using?
Yeah, and I also remember the so I had a dream where like there was lightning in the sky with a huge symbol and orders from a voice in my head to free them, presumably slaves, which yay. Um, but and I get visions and I understand like I understand visions and everything like that, but um, I just didn't know that they had like access other than like objects and things like that, that they actually had access to the types of magic it would take to conjure things that could steal children.
Let's find ourselves. How long have we been having these visions?
Just a couple.
Weeks.
Let's see here. Had last time I think we covered this, or I had it. I was remember that first night we stayed at the Darren Manor all those months ago. At this point, yeah. Then, um, I
I don't think that was all that terribly long ago, really.
thought it was a dream at first, but I didn't want to sound batty, so I just let it sit and simmer until I might, until I could corroborate it with something.
I see.
Now that I'm seeing the crescent moon here in this belt, I might have to free some slaves from a certain hunting lodge.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree, but the interesting thing is why you?
Because I'm
What
beautiful.
does it want from you?
It's a good question. I don't know. Might just be like my affinity for Teddy, or
like that's something
I don't know.
the bear.
I said Teddy, yeah. I'm touched by darkness. But aren't we all? I mean, we've all fought baddies at this point. Zombies, golems, and it could have been any one of us. But I found myself sleepwalking. I mean, that's how I saw the original slave coming through the darkness anyway, and invited them into the house.
Sorry, you found yourself sleep.
Part of a vision. I was like up on the second balcony watching a storm roll through in my vision, and that's when I saw like as I came out of my vision, that's when I saw the original slave at the Darren Manor wandering through the darkness trying to escape. That's why I brought the slave in and fed them and got them out of the estate in the first place. Is because I was on a vision quest and stumbled across him practically.
Interesting. Well, then perhaps we do need to speak to this priestess. She may have some idea of why you've been sent here. Maybe we could turn this place into a bastion for them.
Because I do know we've been here. Well, you were with me when Joe was talking about, like, are we when we first mentioned Solopetha? When you first mentioned Solopetha, and they were just like,
Yeah,
"Are you here to, punish them?" I was just like, "Ugh."
yeah.
The forces may be
I think
afoot.
my response was the thought has crossed my mind.
Yes, this may all be Solopetha.
Perhaps you are the one who's been sent to punish them.
Oh, I'm all for stabbing people. Only the bad
Yes,
ones.
we know.
You hear a scream and commotion from down the hall.
Now what?
Not
Now what?
again.
Okay. So we're all dressed. I've got my weaponry. Let's Zhang, do you want to go?
I don't think we could avoid it at this point.
Hyper attack, you ready?
Get on.
Let's go. Although we might want to have our ranger and our mercenary queen with us at some point.
People screaming tend to indicate that we will arrive after the commotion, or like
Fair.
You head down the hallway. The screaming and commotion seems to be coming from the lounge. As you run into the lounge, you see everybody seems to be standing around and looking at a woman on the ground, Les Palais, who is frothing at the mouth, turning purple, and appears to be about to die.
Yes. I will burst through. Make room. I'm an alchemist.
Adadon is there as well, like holding her head and looking confused.
What potions did she take recently?
Nothing. She just had meals and some brandy.
Oh, the cognac, just in case.
Yes, but did she also have laudanum? I name off a number of other popular.
She stops moving. And
Tracheotomy.
Let's see.
while he's.
I push.
I'm sorry. Well,
So can I do an alchemy roll to see
yeah,
if she's
you can do an alchemy
what
to try to
science-
identify what's happening.
Why don't you try healing? It's safer.
is Vecca
Well,
here?
you have to
Can I-
figure out what it is first, and then.
2 successes. Vecca is not in here. 2 successes. You identify pretty quickly that she has been poisoned. Insert poison name here, and that poison is very fatal, very deadly. Iocane powder, odorless, tasteless, dissolves instantly in water, and is among the more deadly poisons known to man.
Would I happen to know an antidote or a restorative?
I hear you have to spend years building up a tolerance to it.
There are things that you can do to defend yourself, but if you've ingested it, you're dead. There's no saving her.
Girl.
And she expires.
Well, she was that close to her expiration date anyway.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, things are about to get exciting, and I don't want to get to the potentially climax of this story without having our full party. So we are going to call it a little bit early tonight. And again, we won't be here next week, but we will be back the week after next on Tuesday to continue this exciting murder mystery story and find out exactly what happens and who is going to die and how many times.
And exactly how Zhang tried to kill her.
And exactly how Zhang tried to kill them. Let's see. The only tomorrow and Thursday we are off. Or we should have Edenia season 3 tomorrow. But beyond that, I don't have any others, but make certain we do have a raid getting ready for you. So get on the raid, go head out to the next channel, be cool, emote, chat, don't be a dick. And with that, we love you. Good night.